What's up everybody, it's Gil P and I'm back with another video. These are the top 5 things you need to know before you buy a Melco embroidery machine, okay? So I have had my Melco for 22, almost 3 years now. And I have not had any serious problems with my Melco at all, and these are the things that I would tell you if you are considering purchasing a Melco embroidery machine. The number one thing that can break or make any of your designs is the thread. The thread. So you must understand that when you have designs that have really tiny letters, I probably should have had something here to show you. Oh, okay, I'll use this hat for an example. So on this hat, these letters here, oh, it's not focusing. Okay, these letters here wouldn't be considered really thick, but they're thin. You can still use a weight 40 on these letters. When you get to letters that are tiny like this, you want to use thread that's like a 60, 75, 90. The bigger the number, the better it stitches out really thin. So what I would suggest that you do is when you purchase thread, buy the thick weight and the thin weight. Buy both colors, both sizes, because you never know when you need to have thin letters. So most of the colors I have the thin version of it. And so that looks like trying to see something gonna happen behind me. So these two are the same color. This is 40 weight and this is 60. So that means when I use something that has very thin fonts, I'm going to use the 60 weight, and then if it calls for the other part of the design to have a bigger weight, then I'll use this. Always get both. You will spend more money, to me, I spent more money on thread than anything else. Maybe on backing, but we'll get to that in a second. So that's one thing. And needles. So when I first got started, I broke so many needles because I did not know all right, number 2, needles. You have to understand that most things you can most things you can stitch out with a 75 or 80. Now when you have the thin thread, you're going to need a needle that stitches with thin thread, and that's like a 65-9. You want to make sure you have many cases of this when you first get started, because when you start using the machine, you're going to break needles, and you want to make sure you have replacements. So I always keep stocks of 75 and 69 needles, 65-9 needles in my case. So needles are very important. Always have extra, always. Something else that I didn't put on here, yes I did, buy extra parts. Number 3, buy extra parts. When you get your machine, I think it came with one, so when you have the bars that hold your losing words. I've been losing words all day. Where did these things go? These hold your material, and they are called, what is the name of this? Oh, Lord have mercy, it's been a long weekend. All right, so these are hoops, and when you slide it onto your machine, the arms hold this onto the machine, and you want to make sure that you have plenty of different sizes of hoops. Have extra of everything. I broke one of my sleeve hoops and I was in the middle of an order. The reason why I'm saying make sure you have extra is so you can switch it out and keep going. I broke a screw in my that holds my arms on, that holds your hoops in. I broke it on Thursday. Luckily it stayed in there. I did 3 orders with a broken screw. This is experience. Most people would have tried to take it apart, but from my experience, as long as you're not being rough with your machine, you can still keep working. So I managed to do 3 orders with a broken screw in there. I ordered 4 this time, just in case, because what happens is you have to screw it in, and then it screws so much it just broke off. So it's the other part of it is down in there. So when my other part comes, I'm gonna have to get that out. I don't even know how I'm gonna get it out, but I didn't want to take it apart because I know I had orders to do. So make sure when you get a Melco machine that you account for having all the extra supplies. You're gonna need air, canned air, you're gonna need oil, you're gonna have to do, you need extra hoops, large and small. You're gonna need something else I broke. What did I break? I think the parts are probably, so really I just ordered some new wheels that turn thread. They turn the thread at the top, so I'm replacing all of those, and that comes in a whole new set. I haven't replaced it since I purchased the machine. So you want to make sure that you have all the equipment duplicated. Everything that could break and will break, you need to have an extra one. And be very careful when you're sliding your hoops in, taking them off. You don't want to snatch stuff off. You want to make sure you maintain the maintenance, which is my next one. So the 4th thing is the service. You are responsible for this machine, and you have to maintain the services. So every 20,000 stitches, every so many 200,000 stitches, you have a different maintenance that you have to perform on the machine, and you have to do it correctly and on time. Sometimes the maintenance will pop up in the middle of your order and you have to stop. I stopped my order and I'll finish out like the last couple of stitches so that it doesn't, just in case it kind of moves or shifts, I can kind of even it, you know, get it back to where it was by using the red dot. But most of the time I don't have problems. But most of the time I have to do a service in the middle of a project. It's super annoying. So what I would suggest is just look at your service interval and make sure it doesn't need to be serviced before you start working. And that way you can avoid all of that. But you are responsible for maintaining the service. I keep looking at the machine because I'm trying to conjure up information as I go along. So I just want to tell you that before you buy a Melco, you have to keep this in mind. This thing has multiple services that are due, especially if you're very busy and you have a lot of work to do. You're going to constantly be doing service intervals, and you can't be afraid of the machine. So I'm going to be honest, when I first got this machine and the man left after they set it up, I sat there and just stared at this machine. I didn't want to touch it because I was scared I was going to break it, and I had to get over that fear. So it is, if you've never done this before, you are definitely going to feel intimidated. But I would say after you start getting, once your service provider comes and gives you like your training, then you will feel a little more comfortable. But when you get your service training, I would ask every possible question that I could think of. I would go online, which brings me to number 5, is watch YouTube videos about the machine that you're interested in. Melco has a wonderful channel, and you can go all the way back to the beginning and just watch the videos, watch him doing the service on the videos. This will help you to feel more comfortable, which is what I did before my machine arrived. I watched most of their videos, from them unboxing it, watching them put the needles on, watch them put the thread in. I watched them do minor services. I watched a lot of videos before my machine even showed up. So when it showed up, I kind of knew what to expect, and my questions, I asked better questions. So before you get the Melco machine, please remember the 5 things you need to do before it arrives and before you make the major decision. I'm not really sure right now how much they cost, but I think when I bought mine 3 years ago, it's about $15,000. So I don't know if the price went down or went up. I'm not real sure because I haven't checked. So these are the top 5 things that I would pay attention to or consider when I'm deciding if I want to buy Melco. So if you have any questions about anything that I've said here, drop me a comment below. Okay, I'll talk to you guys next time.